All right. Well, good morning. I mean, technically it's not morning, but it's the day after my gigantic world-shattering epiphany, where I found the spirit of improv and I could recreate it. I shared that last night, right? But this is the morning after report. And to share with everybody and all the versions of myself the pre-manic protocol, right? I understand the dangers of going manic as the opposite of depression, which is equally vicious, but on the other side, where getting too excited bleeds into my sleep and makes it hard to sleep. And then if I don't sleep, things go downhill pretty quickly. All right, so that is the pre manic protocol when I have a big aha like this. It's like, oh my gosh, okay, here's what it is. Super simple. I just have to stay in bed and rest, whether I feel like I fell asleep or not, for at least 9 hours. I want to be able to sleep 8 hours, so at least give an hour buffer. So 9 hours. Yes, it's a long time, right? That non-negotiable, right? The only way I stay an emotional immortal is if I maintain everything in my physical body. And as my health equation goes, it's rest, fuel, clean, dress, exercise, stretch, and balance. Rest is the first thing, especially since after my manic episode all the way back in August of last year. I understand how it feels, the excitement overrun, and all the possibilities in my brain that creates more possibilities, that creates more excitement, and it feels so good, and I want to use it. And last time, I didn't have this deep confidence that I would always be able to get back there. I don't need to chase it because there's a part of me that's afraid, like, oh, once I have it, I have to hold on real tight. I'm going to lose it. And that made me want to keep chasing and chasing it. And that's part of the danger, right? So today is the day after. I stayed in bed for 9 hours. It was kind of challenging, right? And then I looked back on my sleep app, and now it's so funny. I am actually grateful that I snore. Like I hated it my entire life, right? But now I understand why it's there. Like I don't know if I fell asleep or not. Like I couldn't tell. I stayed in bed and I just tried to rest the whole time. But then I looked back over my app. It's like, oh, I've been snoring here and here. It's like I for sure fell asleep for like at least probably 6 hours, which is that is like kind of bare minimum. Like 6 hours, 6 to 8 would be ideal, right? But at least I rested the whole time too. Okay, so that is the super important part. In order to maintain my emotional immortality, I need to maintain my physical mortality, my physical body's safety. And that includes, so this is the loop, morning routine, evening routine, and this is the most important part is sleep. Even if it's hard, I practiced leaning into the boredom hour after hour, and that's why meditation is one of the key um, practices because sitting with that boredom hour after hour is what allows me to eventually fall back asleep. I took 2 melatonins, where I normally try to do none. So yeah, even with that help, I wasn't sure if I fell asleep, and my sleep app told me that I did because I snored. So it's kind of the blessings that I didn't see, I didn't realize. Okay, so this is a work session. I want to solidify my gains. So I'm just going to again, this is the white paper method. I blank, I leave, reset, right? I go to blank paper. I don't look back over the notes, and I let my brain reconsolidate. So this is what it first came up with. The whole. I don't like the whole. Nobody likes the whole, all right? The whole is when I am deep in my shadow. I can't see anything. I don't have my tools. Everything that I feel like I am, all falls away. I can't reach it. I'm in the dark. The whole. And this morning, when I was feeling the desire to maintain the high, maintain this epiphany, maintain this high level of well being, I remind myself, pause. It's great to feel great. It really does. It's just like, ah, da 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 da. But what I'm afraid of is here, is this drop right here. And this is also me. This is the part of me that's in here that gets triggered under certain circumstances, and this is what I'm afraid of. This is the search and rescue. And how I do it is when I'm not in it, I practice what I would do when I am. So here's what I realize. This is also me. This is the me that was caught in the past. It was caught in this trap of trauma. It's like, this bear trap. It's pretty vicious bear trap. I can't get it off. And it hurts, and I'm stuck in darkness because of it. And for me to rescue myself, I need to go down into there. But as soon as I go down into there, I become that person and I lose sight of all my tools. And what I realized, I think yesterday or the day before, was this. If I, with all my tools that I have built, still couldn't get out of that situation, how could the little me way back when, how could that version of me have gotten out? When even my adult self being in that situation couldn't do it, can't do it today, right? So the trick, I'm seeing this little thing here. Anyways, the trick is to voluntarily go back in there and practice what to do before we go down, right? So last night I was laying in bed, I was like, okay, practice. I'm at the bottom of a hole. I've forgotten everything. I've blanked out everything. Anxiety is crushing me. I see nothing. I feel nothing. I have no tools. What do I do? The cube. The cube is my refuge, right? And actually, before the cube, I ask myself, I have this internal voice. I ask myself, this is my coaching voice that coaches me in that place. Yes, you're in the hole. What do you have? Remember, what do you have? Right, right. I'm in the hole and I have my breath. Okay, I have my breath. Okay, if I have my breath, what do I have? The one breath meditation. Okay, if I have the one breath meditation, then what else do I have? And the whole system starts coming, expanding from the one handhold that I always have. The breath. Okay? So, this is shadow, search, and rescue. Shadow. Right, shadow search and rescue. Shadow. Shadow search and rescue. And the rescuer needs to know how to survive the depths. Needs to know how to swim as a lifeguard, right? If you don't know how to swim, right, you can't go into the water. And you gotta not let the drowning person grab you and pull you under as well. So back when I was a lifeguard, ages ago, we are taught to swim around to the back of the person, and you would have your floaty, so you have an addition support, and you grab them by the back and you pull them backwards so that they're on their back, and the floaty goes underneath them, and then that supports them. And that's how you rescue somebody in the water, right? Otherwise, if you're in front of them, they grab you and then they'll pull you under. So you want to go behind them and you want to grab them. Okay, but this is not that, right? This version, when I go down, I become this person and I start losing all my tools. It's like a firefighter without any of his gear, or her gear, or their gear. Right? So I need to train what I will do when the shadow overcomes me and I have nothing. Remember, remember what you have. All right, I have my breath. Each breath is a loop. I have my breath. Okay? So, I have my breath, and I have the cube. The cube is my refuge. It's the tool that links me to every other tool that I have. If I have the cube, and I have linked the tools to the cube, then I have it. All right, so I'm in the hole. I have forgotten everything. I can't see anything, but I remember my breath. And that can lead me to the one breath meditation. Breath, speed, posture, letting go of emotional effort. And now I also add effortless emergence, SEE, and allow for effortless action. So with my breath, it activates my power suit. And my power suit will have the controls to remind me what I actually have conscious control over, right? So this is the start of the power suit startup sequence. And, or, the cube. So I have two. I imagine I reach out to the cube. I grab it and like crush in case of emergency, so I crush the cube. That's what I imagined last night. And I crush the cube and the pieces kind of become like this nano armor that flows over my body and also activates the suit. So two different ways to get into the suit, the Iron Man suit. Okay. Now, what else? Okay, what am I anchoring? This is the biggest aha. but not right now. Okay. For people, freestyle, improv, I'm feeling the anxiety right now. The classical anxiety of even thinking about social interactions activate familiar anxiety, which is great because that is my lowest self. And once I am able to raise that lowest self consistently, I'm done, right? I know that anytime I'm there, I can rise back up. Then I'm done. I'm not afraid of being down here anymore. In fact, I look forward to it being down here and look forward to once again doing the repetition of climbing back out of the hole. The goal is to carve a path of terrible, to do things terribly. At first, it would be really terrible. But the next time, it's not going to be quite so terrible. Third time, not so much, not so much. Breakthrough! Oh my gosh, that's what it took? Oh, and that's what improv did. Was the mad, glad, sad, afraid exercise. All right. So I reach for the cube. I put on the armor. Activating Enlightened Mastery Systems. Welcome. Okay. Activating heads up display. Activating armor. Power armor engaging. Even in the darkness, you have access to these things. This just reminds us of what to do. Power armor activated. Game initialized. Loop analyzing. Here's one day. If we do a little bit better, look, next day you're a little bit better. Next day, you're a little bit better than that. Engaging loop cycle. Remember, this is the game. The loop. This is the loop. And every breath is a loop. So this is the day loop. This is sleep. This is our moment by moment awareness. And this is my breath loop. Okay. This activates. Power armor initialized. What does it look like inside the power armor? This is the second screen. Remember, the power armor is created by my mind. So this takes practice. My view screen. Which has my fear heads-up display, reality 2, locus of control, focus on that which I can control, love, possibility, actions, the one breath meditation, the ground of nothingness, the physical panel, plan, do, play, social panel, give, boundaries, and shadow work. Dropping into my emotional submarine. Remember, all the negative feelings just charge me up for a better next day comparison. So anyways, this is the emotional submarine. The emotional time. Emotional work. Social emotional work. Symbolic work. Social symbolic work. And this is the model itself. Okay, so that's what it looks like inside the power suit, or inside the vehicle, right? You have all these panels and dials and realities. What else? Activating goals. What's the point of my life? Well, I decide that for myself, but it's stored right here. The point is to get from A to B, whatever it is, and the traps include distractions, fear, overwhelm, boredom, and burnout. And the goal is to get to right here, where I'm getting paid to do what I love. And the goal is to stay within the flow channel. The loop is also here. Free time is what we build with. Evening routine. And then I want to become financially free, financial bodhisattva, doing it in a win-win-win manner. Win for me, win for the client, win for the world. I'm on my life purpose, and I'm getting paid. That's important, so it sustains everything. My wealth comes from my life purpose. Then all I have to do, and I have to make it all self-sustaining, otherwise I have to get other jobs and it'll be dispersion of my energy. And self-actualization could also go right here. When I turn myself back into a single dot, this is relatively new addition to put that there. Okay. And then I want to develop a relative superpower. And remember, it is a one-person game, one-player game. And all problems can be solved with systems, skill, or shadow. Okay. Activating. 3 panels. Okay. Now that we have that, lock in the 4th panel. Again, this is just practice right now. I imagine I fell into the hole and I can't see anything, I can't feel anything. I remember my breath. My breath activates the power suit, and I remember the cube. It activates the cube in front of me. It floats in front of me. I reach up and I crush the cube, and it flows around me and activates this entire system, self-coaching system. This is literally what I did last night. So I'm only sharing what I'm actually doing, because this is a journal entry. Okay, Uh, more. Okay. This one is the dimensions of our reality. So the cube opens up into a... Here, let's draw this one too. Opens up into a controller. Okay, so I crush the cube. It turns into a controller. So there's a few different metaphors for the same thing. In fact, everything here is a metaphor for the single dot that is reality. This is just different ways to see the exact same thing so that we are able to control it, see it, know where we are. This is a map of what already is. You can pause, or you can play. That's the controller for the game. Oh, okay. That just occurred to me. Okay. So remember, this is the metaphor. A player playing a game, and inside this game, you see you playing the game. But that's it. There's no infinite recursion, right? You are playing you, and the screen is blank. There's no more. We stop this recursion here. It's only one level in. So I'm playing myself, playing myself. I become awakened to the player within. And by doing that, I also activate the coach as well. Interesting. Do I put the coach here? Or do I put the coach here? Well, this is the game. Okay, so this is the game. Okay, so the loop is here. Okay. This is the loop. This is inside the spaceship. This is where we're going with this spaceship. This is the game. And the game includes the loop, activating loop, awareness. Loop awareness engaged. This is the game. The game includes an in-game coach. Welcome to Earth. Welcome. Welcome to Earth. This is the grand game that this is. And then this is the treasure chest of everything else. I just don't have a good map for this yet. So this is my catch-all for everything else. Let's make it smaller. Treasure chest. Okay. So that activates the game. activates these screens, activates the coach, which is my highest voice. And it reminds me that I'm a swimmer. And to maintain everything is my routines. Where I'm going is I'm using my free time to get to where I'm going. Enjoy the moment. There's only now. The point of playing the game is to have fun. And if we're in the darkness, we do emotional strength training and we are emotional immortals. Okay. The coach voice is the voice that I do listen to. And the voice can actually become many different things. An all-loving universe is one of the voices that I now have. This is universe. She's the benevolent, all-loving being that I've always been reaching for. Okay, so that is just still a review, but a reminder is to go into my lowest self, because my lowest self is still me. And to do shadow search and rescue, and to do that, we train while we're not in the shadows, but we train as if what would happen when we're in the shadows and we lost all the memory of this. And we train over and over and over. Okay. Now, what do we have? The Hole, got that. Shadow Search and Rescue, got that. Spirit of Improv. Freestyle Play and Appreciation Play. Play Full Out. Okay, Play Full Out. That is the theme. Okay, there we go. That's next. Remember, this will save me. Play full out. What does that imply? It implies that this is a game. It reminds me that this is a game, that I want it to be here. Somewhere in the darkness, before the darkness, I was infinity. Ooh, okay. I am infinity. Playing small. Because I wanted to feel what it felt like to be small, but not stay there. I want to go all the way in and then climb out. Through the terrible. Ooh, this is great. Aha! Through the terrible to feel what it feels like to be big. And the lower I started out, the higher the achievement is going to be. If I started out here, I have nowhere to go except even higher. So this is why this is the most highest contrast without going into full psychological collapse. So, and then feel what it feels like to be big. But don't worry about that right now, because right here is what I need to focus on. I need to jump back into my smallest self and see how small I can get. Social anxiety, performance. Like, this is kind of close to my lowest self right now. There's still more in here, but this is starting to be my lowest self. Like I'm climbing out. Like I won't fall too much lower here. This is it. That gives me relief for my entire life. Like I don't have to worry about falling too deep. Then I can finally jump up. I can finally enjoy the good and then let it go when I fall back to regular without thinking, without having this fall all the way down, because I'm only falling to here now. So this is the ladder. And what is this ladder? Okay. What did I get? What did I gain? The spirit of improv. Spirit of improv lives in the emotional, symbolic, and social dimension. That's the tricky part. So this is experiential, physical. The spirit of improv doesn't live in those two areas. It does in the experiential, but it doesn't live in the physical. Now, it lives in the symbolic. Let's do the cube. Turning into a map. This is symbolic. This is the emotional. This is the social. Okay. Where the emotional crosses into the physical or into the symbolic, the data, was these four emotions. These are the primary emotions: fear, anger, hurt, and desire. But the exercise says when one person, so here was the exercise, improv exercise. One person gives an innocuous statement, and the other person responds with a big emotional response and then justifies it. It just picks a random, come back, screen. Okay. And the magic is in the justification, and then it just pops up. Okay. So I'm actually going to practice right here and see if I still have it. Okay. Let me do an example. The sky is white right now. So now I get to pick. This game is called Mad, Glad, Mad, Glad, Sad, Afraid. All right. So we pick one of those emotions at random. With as a sound without saying anything, and then the words come after the fact. Okay. So innocuous statement. It's cloudy out, and the sky is white. Okay. Person one. The sky is cloudy, and the sky is white. Person two. It's still cloudy. This is May. It should be sunny by now. I've been depressed for so long. Right? So I just let my body pick any of those emotions, lean into it, and then make some sounds, give it some time, for my body to make up a reason, and the story just comes. Okay, now let's try that again. The sky, it is cloudy out, and the sky is white. It's it's white. I thought the sky was always blue. What does it mean when it's white? Oh my goodness, Mom. What does it mean? I've never seen the sky white. Does it mean it's the end of the world? Is it ash? Is it? So in that moment, it was like I was trying to justify why I would be afraid, and it's like, oh, and then it, like, why would I be afraid that the sky is white? It's like, oh, if I was a child, so then I slipped back into the child role. So then I used the word mom. It's like, oh, mom, you know, maybe I was born in a place that was always dry and sunny, in the desert or something. I've never seen the sky white. I don't know, right? So, boom. Okay, let's try another one. The sky is white. Why is the sky white? Ah! I needed the sun for the solar panels to charge. How are we ever going to charge these new stupid electric vehicles? I have a gas here, but I can't charge it. I ran out of electricity, and now I can't even carry a gas can. Stupid electric cars. Ugh. Right? Uh, that scene just came to me without any effort. And that's the trick, is I needed to seed the improv engine in my mind with an emotion, which, working backwards, means that I was shut down. My emotions were shut down. And that is why it was so hard to express myself, to have anything to say, because I would just always keep a neutral face. Because throughout my childhood, I got at least mad shut down, afraid I would lead to, leaving people. Anyways, the cry it out policy, like any of this except for glad was shut down. And it didn't even matter because I just kind of followed along my entire life. Okay, so anyways, um, take a quick pause. I'm gonna grab food and I'll bring it in the room and I'll be right back. All right, I got food, so I'm gonna wrap this up. So, right, so this is social symbolic engine that is now it's been stuck in my being for so long. I didn't know why. I was frozen. My symbolic engine couldn't think of anything. But this is why, because I needed to seed it with an emotion and then backfill it. Like, I don't think I would have been able to figure that out without the improv exercise, without people having taught improv for so long and having this exercise happen to be the one that clicked. So you start out with the emotion. Why am I so excited? Because everything is possible now. Like, why am I so excited? Because I can build a rocket ship to go to Mars. Like, no, but that's just me making stuff up. Like, why am I so excited? Because I can go to Disneyland in 5 years with all the money I'll make. Like, again, that's just the fountain of improv. Just the fountain of improv. I'm free. I can't believe it's that simple. It wasn't simple at all. I had to lean into it. I had to go through Improv 102, 101, 102, and then keep doing this dojo. And I happened to land on this person's teaching, Sky from uh, Jet City Improv, the artistic director. Like, props. I'm going to give her all the credits. Like, oh my gosh, it's her class that helped me tip everything over. Okay, so it's in the emotional dimension. And remember, these dimensions bleed into every other dimension. So the emotional dimension has waves, but each wave has knowledge in it. So then, in the knowledge up here, it creates a story of why. Why do I feel that way? So it's right here. The spirit of improv is right here. It's like there's part of me just like, do it again, do it again. Prove it again. Innocuous. I have a cup of juice. Juice? I love fruit. You know how many pieces of fruit died so that we could get their fruit's blood? That is the blood of fruit. I love life so much. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so easy. It's so easy. I start out with the emotion and just generate why. And then my being just makes it up. The seed of it is the emotion. The seed of stories is emotions. And then that leads me to realize when we get angry at somebody and then we tell them, this is why the story gets generated. The story comes after the fact. We get angry and then we try to justify why. Same thing with why phobias or hypochondriac. It's like, I'm afraid, I have some health symptoms. Why am I afraid? Maybe because I have a terrible disease. Like, oh my gosh. Like, no, that's just fear making up reasons. Doesn't mean that I don't have something terrible, but it's the same chance as all the other times in my life. Why now? Why does it feel like now? Doesn't mean if we have starting to have some health symptoms that we ignore it. That's the opposite, right? So to listen to our emotion the right amount and realize sometimes it hijacks us. That's just how it is. It doesn't mean to do that. And so the emotion comes before the story. That's why emotional strength training is so important. And it goes underneath the story to allow us to have more capacity to hold bigger emotions. And then the story automatically changes after the fact. So, Maxa, is that what this is? um, mm, Maxa. I guess could work. Maxa. Okay. So the spirit of improv, the four spirits of improv is mad, glad, sad, and afraid. To make something matter. Why does it matter? Because it's my favorite technique in the whole world now, and it freed me from the hole. 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 I don't know. It doesn't feel real because it's so big, and I don't want it to feel real because that could cause a dopamine cascade. When I get excited, and I get more excited, I look forward, have more energy, and I get even more excited. It's the inverse of the depression cycles. Okay, so I want it to be a slow improvement, but this is not a slow improvement. This is the key. This is the key. This is a this is the key of improv. The key. So yeah, um, I'm pretty excited. The day after, I'm still proving that it's that easy. It's that easy. It's that easy and reproducible. Before, it was not reproducible. I would have a good day and I would have a good improv scene. I was like, whoa, look at me, I did that. But I couldn't do it again unless I felt good. That's why I had to lean into it. I had to volunteer and trust that something would appear, and that's like, and trust that if it doesn't, I would look silly, and that's okay. The golden key of improv. Okay, okay. Shadow improv theater. Um, Here would be shadow improv theater, which this and this combined is shadow improv theater. And actually, the shape of this goes more like this. What would happen if I combine them over here into shadow improv theater? Okay. If I put those two together, it would be emotion. So if I put this up here, emotion would actually be here. Symbolic gland is here. The emotional wave goes first. There's an emotional wave, mad, sad, glad, or afraid. Maxa. And then a character would appear. Improv theater. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's still cloudy out. I know, but I like being sad, so I'm kinda glad it's still cloudy. I get to be sad a little longer. So shadow improv theater exists in the space between here and here. Mostly it's right here. Ah, it's still real. It's still real. Um, well, the spirits of improv power the shadow puppet theater. Shadow puppet theater, is that what you're calling it? Shadow puppet theater. Okay. I'm here to solidify, right? So everything goes back to the cube. Do you see how I'm doing this, right? I had all these ahas. They're all floating. If I don't anchor to one single anchor where I pull on that and catches everything, I will probably eventually find them again. But here I can lock it together into one framework. Where do these live? Okay, this, the spirit of improv, lives in the emotions right here. Maxa is right here. They live in the emotional realm. Mad, glad, sad, and afraid. That's a joke. Spirits of improv live right there. And you have to let them explain why going into shadow puppet theater. I have terribleism now. Now I know where terribleism exists in the whole, in the emotional whole, you say. So I'm going to delete some things. Bye bye. Okay. So I've been stuck in the emotional hole for quite a while. I'm down here, and my desires were blocked, and the other three emotions were kind of bullies. Anger, bullying myself, fear, definitely crushing everything. I feel hurt, which kind of powers everything else, and then the desire, which just, so now terriblism exists right here. Ha 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 ha. Terriblism. Just takes chunks away from this terrible so I can make progress instead of perfectionism. Be like, I'm not here yet, so I do nothing. It's like, no, eat the terrible. All right, so I am infinity playing small. That would exist. Um, IDK, but somewhere here. I'm infinity playing small so I can feel what it feels like to overcome it and then become big in a sustainable manner. So I'm not floating up here and be like, "Wow, I'm doing it," and then oh no, I'm back in the hole. Okay. So this is my lowest self. Shadow search and rescue, you say. You say. Shadow Search and Rescue stands right here. Shadow Search and Rescue. Okay. Because just because I'm up here, it's fragile because this cliff can collapse anytime and I would fall right back here. Yes, I've made it to the other side briefly, but there's a part of me that's still stuck here. So I need to go back in. I need to train for what it's like when I'm in there and then recreate the tools as I come out. And now I have the spirit of improv, Magsa. I have Magsa. Okay. Um, there we go. I anchored Shadow Search and Rescue, Shadow Improv Theater, Spirit of Improv, Appreciation, and Freestyle. Ooh, this is the social dimension that I haven't. And now I've been afraid because I didn't know what to say. But here's a game. Um, a practice of appreciation. I want a free practice of appreciation. And ideally, I practice that with people I'm not attracted to first. And then I carry that spirit of appreciation and love to everybody, which will include the people I'm attracted to. And then I can approach the people that I'm attracted to, and then I can find partners that are of my equal partners. So that is my strategy. Practice play, appreciation, and free play. And play. There's Who Am I game. Improv games. Ooh, I can bring that to Friday. Okay. 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 Now I have social capital. Something that's fun, like the clapping game, like passing the claps. Like, ready? There you are. And then you go to someone else, or you can pass it right back, clap, clap, and then it goes back to them, and you find someone else. The clapping game. So, anyways, games. Ooh, I'm over my hour. Okay. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. See, now an hour is almost not long enough. When I started, an hour was been like pulling teeth. Now it's just like I don't have enough time to get through everything. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So I have this practice of appreciation. Practice appreciation. That's basically the game. Like when I look around, when I think about my past, it's like when people walk around, just like, oh my gosh, that's an amazing dress. Oh wow, I love how you're, And people talk to me, it's like, oh, I've seen your live videos. It's like that's great. It's like, and it always feels nice. And if they don't try to like do get something back, you keep passing that, and the karma comes back around, and then it feels like we're in a community that just supports each other, and it's not we're looking for something. When I'm giving you a compliment, it's not because I'm trying to get something else on the other hand, but we can ask later, when it all circulates around, maybe days later, we can talk about other things. And so, yeah, a practice of appreciation and play. This is the whole social dimension. So this just opens up all that. And I have Magsa, the spirit of improv, and I can teach people Magsa. And again, that's another social game. I think I have locked everything in place. So that is how, right? I have the whole. I have freestyle and appreciation play, spirit of improv, shadow search and rescue, Magsa, the coaching cube, which is the anchor of everything. So it's always there. The coaching cube. And play full out. That is the theme. Play full out. I think I'm going to put the game right here. The game. Activating power suit. Activating power suit. Activating loop awareness. One day. Getting a little better. A little better. A little better. A little better. The game. The game of life. And aren't you glad we're not playing the game of life as a cricket or a mouse? It's not bad, but I like playing the game of life as a human. Um, yep, that's kind of it. See, so again, let's bring everything back. I'm in the shadows. Sweetie, remember, what do you have? I have my breath. Yes. Slow down. There we go. Play full out. Play PFO full out. Play full out. Because I am infinity. Remember, sweetie, you are infinity playing small. Remember, we are Shadow Search and Rescue. We have the tools. We're in the darkness. Breathe. Good. What do you see? A cube. The anchor to all my tools. Great. Crush in case of emergency. Activating emergency shadow rescue protocol. Goes to here. Activating power suit. Remember the dimensions of reality. Activating loops. Here's tutorial. Every day is a loop. You need to refine your loops. The smallest loop is your breath. Live life one breath at a time. This is your spaceship. Study how this spaceship works. Your view screen, your physical, your social, your emotional processing unit, your symbolic processing unit. Symbolic work, social symbolic work. Next is the map. This is where we're going. We're stuck in one of these traps. That is the whole point of life, is to make it hard and have fun. We're seeking financial freedom and actualization back into a single dot of essence. To get to here, we need to make money in the physical world, and we develop a superpower that we can trade the skill for resources. And now we're fully self sustaining, and all we have to do is get a little bit every day, avoiding the fifth and final trap of burnout or injury. Remember, this is a one player game. You want to improve yourself. You look to others for inspiration, but otherwise, it's always just yourself and one little step of improvement. And all the improvements we're looking for can be found in either systems, skills, or shadow. Look in front of you. Do you see the control panel? Or your controller, game controller? Grab it. See yourself in the game. You're playing this game, and in the game, you see yourself. You don't see any more. There's no more recursion. So you stand up with this controller, and your body actually stands up. Like, what? Huh, interesting. Right, this is what it's like. This is the game. Every day is a loop. Every breath is a loop. How well you spend this one loop is how you will spend the rest of your entire life. Because in the end, there's only this one single moment of game. And how well we spend this one moment is absolutely everything. And I am your coach. You can change what I look like. I can look like universe, goddess, or any other form you wish. I am your highest voice. Find me inside your own brain and listen to that part. Become me. Tell yourself to slow down. There we go. Right? Like a swimming coach. I'm right here. There we go. You see? You zoom out, look around you. Use your imagination to create me in reality inside your imagination. You are me telling yourself, coaching yourself, telling yourself. And ultimately, what's the game? The game is the come back, self coaching revolution. So it's 3x coaching. The goal is to teach ourselves how to self coach ourselves. Then we become a teacher to teach someone else how to self coach themselves. So this is somebody else learning how the system works. And then they get to play the game. So then we become a teacher, T1. But then we teach them, the second level, teach them how to teach someone else. To self-coach themselves. Now I become a T2, teacher of teachers. This person becomes a teacher. This person becomes a player of the game of life. And we all play full out. This is the self-coaching revolution and 3x coaching. This is existence cubed. uh, and anybody can use this model. This is simply a nature of reality. This is simply how the universe works. The three-level meta recursion, if I can teach it, if I absolutely know it, and then if I can teach another teacher to teach it, I know it so well that it's just my existence now. And this is the self-coaching revolution, or 3x coaching. And the ultimate goal, my loves, for the entire planet is the second age of enlightenment, the age of emotions, the age of infinite beings, the age of the emotional immortal. All right, that's the whole game. Um, Let me zoom out. Let me look at it. um, yeah, I'm pretty excited. All right, the cube folds up and holds all this. The cube, this is in the sixth dimension, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the summary, which is also part of the symbolic, is here. This projects outward, so there's really still 5, and then it all gets processed in the experiential. There's really only 4 dimensions we need to worry about. Um, game. We activate the game. In here, boom, and then we have all the powers of this system at our disposal while we are still in the shadows. We have our coach, we have the swimmer, we have the maps, we have the tools. Um, we click on here and we can zoom in to here on any one of these. All right. And that is the summary and how to anchor the gains that I got from yesterday into one single model, the cube, the coaching cube. All right. Ah. Okay. I love you all, and I hope you have the most amazing day possible. And if it is really hard, I hope you play full out, embrace it fully, and understand that it is terrible, but there is hope. There is hope for me now. I finally feel hope, and I can bring this hope to other people as well. So I love you all. I'll be teaching all this out loud soon. Mwah. Till next time.